Faster, higher, stronger, the unimpeachable motto of the Olympic Games. Yet for Lance Larson, a 20-year-old American swimmer at the 1960 Olympic Games in Rome, being fastest didn't necessarily translate into gold. The story of why that was so remains one of the most controversial in Olympic Games history. Because in 1960, for all the stopwatches, timekeepers and cameras, you still had to convince the judges that you were the winner too. And that was something Larson couldn't quite manage to do. "10,000 fans flocked to the spectacular swimming arena in Rome that night, the first weekend action of the Games. Two of the sport's brightest stars were ready to shine beneath the open skies. Larson had clocked the fastest time in the heats. His closest challenger was John Devitt of Australia. Everyone knew it was head-to-head between Devitt and Larson for the gold. With all eyes on the middle two lanes, the Brazilian Manuel dos Santos in lane 6 flew into a healthy lead down the first 50 metres. Dos Santos led at the turn, but Devitt and Larson were just getting started. Devitt hauled himself into the lead, but Larson carved himself through the water too and pulled alongside his great rival. The two men touched the wall. Everyone seemed to agree Larson had edged it. But an official told him it wasn't the case. Here was the problem. In 1960, there were 3 timekeepers at the end of every lane, measuring the time of each swimmer. The 3 stopwatches measuring Devitt were all agreed. The 3 stopwatches recording Larson were only slightly different. The rules state that if 2 times were the same, that was official. Larson was 1/10 of a second quicker than Devitt. But the swimming authorities of 1960 didn't believe the instruments. They had judges too, 24 of them, 12 on each side of the pool, whose job it was to decide who finished first. This was much closer. 3 judges were asked who they thought finished first. 2 said Devitt and 1 said Larson. Then 3 judges were asked who they thought finished second. 2 said Devitt and 1 said Larson. 6 judges, 3 thought Devitt won, 3 said Larson. It was a dead heat. The rules said that ties like this should have sent the officials to the timing machine. But instead, the chief judge, Hans Rundströmer of Germany, stepped in. Rundströmer said that both Devitt and Larson should be given the same time, but that Devitt alone was champion. The American team appealed. It was thrown out, but the incident had shaken the sport to its core. The Olympic Committee decided to replace those fallible humans with electronic sensors. By 1968, stopwatches and judges were a thing of the past in the pool. And 40 years later, the greatest Olympic swimmer of all time was very grateful for that. In 2008, US swimmer Michael Phelps was on course for the best Olympic Games performance ever achieved by an individual. He was going for his 7th gold medal of the Games in the 100 metres butterfly. Standing in the way was Serbia's Milorad Kapic, who was not interested in the Phelps fairy tale.
And is it Kapic or Phelps? It's too close to call. It's Phelps by 1/100th of a second, gold medal number 7.
Phelps went on to win 8 gold medals in Beijing, breaking Mark Spitz's record. It was one of the greatest Olympic Games stories ever written. And perhaps that story owes a credit to John Devitt and Lance Larson. Neither man would return to the Olympic Games, but the legacy of their famous race lives on.